Well, some months ago, I took the opportunity of introducing you to our Huis Project, our renovation project. And a few months later, a few more months than I would have liked, the job is pretty much complete. So without further ado, let me show you around my Huis Project. Well, the transformation of the house starts at the front door. This is no longer the original front door. It was the wrong style and some odd glazing in it. So had a scour around at some of the demolition places, found myself a door that's more in keeping with the character of the house. Got that, did a lot of work to tidy it up. I've added this opalescence glass from Metro Performance Glass in there for a bit of privacy. So that's where it starts. I've added the E-Lok, gives me a whole lot of connectivity and digital functionality right at the get-go. Let me show you the master bedroom. So this room is pretty much the same size and orientation as it was originally, but we've done a fair amount of work in this room and we've done it in all of the other rooms as well. Stripped out all of the lining, removed all of the skirtings and architraves, left the ceiling and made repairs where we needed to. And then we've done the insulation, we've done the wiring, we've done the internet connectivity, hardwired into all of the rooms as well. Relined, stopped and painted, and in this case we've added some wallpaper. This is a new wallpaper that Resene are going to introduce fairly soon, and what's kind of cool for me is that the artist behind the design of this wallpaper is my sister Tanya Wolfkamp. So really cool to introduce a little bit of family into this project as well. Windows, we've kept the joinery, I've changed the glass, and of course we've painted throughout, including the doors, which these were the original doors. Arguably, they're not the right style, but I figured that if they've been here for close to 100 years, they deserve to stay. So I've kept the bungalow door, taken all the hardware off, I've cleaned it all up and I've painted it, and I think it's earned its place in the house. So master bedroom on one side of the hallway, traditional cottage layout. Second bedroom at the front of the house, same size, but a couple of different features. Doorways in a slightly different position, so my storage, my wardrobes are a little bit smaller, but it gives me more space there. And of course, typical with these houses, they would have had a fireplace, chimney with two fireplaces. So in this instance here, what we've done is I've stripped out all of the framing that would have surrounded the original brick chimney, and I've done a render over the top of here, and then we've painted this one in. So this is no longer a functioning chimney, but I like it, but I didn't want it to stand out. So in the same way we've done the walls in Resene half merino, we've used half merino on here as well. Nice warm room, changed the glazing, got rid of the drafts, added the insulation, did the rewiring, some fresh carpet. It's a much nicer room than it was. So front of the house, master bedroom, second bedroom, hallway. Hallway's basically the same, but with a couple of added features. One is, of course, this is where I've got access to all of the storage in the attic via my attic stairs by Selwood. Then one of the other things that was in the house when we bought it is that there had been a door frame here all the time. So this was kind of this height here, and it had jutty out bits here that kind of stopped this part connecting to the rest of the house. So we've simply raised the lintel here and made this a really nice smooth transition all the way around, taken this off and returned it into the lounge. Let me show you the bathroom. Bathrooms are a lot of work, and there has been an enormous amount of work that's gone into this bathroom. So to get it to this state, we basically took it right back to its bare framing. And then we started with new pipework for the plumbing, new electrics. Then we strengthened the floor. We've added the tile base here from warm up. We've had a complete waterproof membrane installed in here. Then we've had the underfloor heating installed, then the tilers started there. We've taken the tiles up to sort of 2 meters high. This was a little casement window in here, so by lifting that window up using the same lintel, I've been able to get a more appropriate window. So the double hung sash gives me a lot more light and it's more in character with the house. Then we've taken the old bath, which is the bath that was here in the house when we bought it, taken it away to the guys at Great Baths, had them resurface it, brought it back in. So we've kept that little piece of heritage, and then we've added the modern functionality. Heated towel rails on the wall here, heated towel rail over there, some good task lighting, new fittings right throughout, wall hung vanity to sort of save a bit of space, and then one of my favourite little features, instead of having to worry about an opening door in the shower, we've simply used this barn slider to give us plenty of space but not have that door swinging out. It's not the biggest bathroom in the world, but I think with the way that we've laid it out and the clever technology and clever products that we've put in here, I think it works really, really well. Bathroom sorted lounge, heart of the home, and well, if you're going to have heart of the home, you've got to have really good heating. So this is the same chimney as we saw in the second bedroom, but we've treated it a different way. I've scraped back all of the bricks, then we've applied a rock coat render over the top of it, and I really like the fact that you can still see that there's the original bricks, and then over the top of that we've used some Resene concrete sealers to seal the render in so that it's durable and long lasting. And into here, into the original old chimney, we've installed this Escea DX 990 fireplace. Great thing is that all of the control, all of the exhaust and the air in is all coming down through the old chimney into the fireplace. Remote control, internet connectivity as well via the app. You know, if I really wanted to, on the way home, I could dial up the app, turn the fireplace on. You know, it's a fabulous feature in here. And I like the fact that we've kept this, because at one stage I seriously thought, do we pull the chimneys out? But we didn't, and I really like the fact that we've kept them. This room here, possibly one of the most challenging rooms in terms of the rebuild, because while much of the house had been repiled earlier, this back corner was inaccessible and it had a significant slope into that back corner. So we ended up lifting a few boards, then we lifted a few more, and then we lifted a few more, and ended up sort of reframing this part of the house. We've added a vapor barrier to the ground after we dug about 2 cubic meters of dirt out. Then we've done the underfloor insulation, laid new flooring down, and then of course what ties all of these spaces together is the quick step engineered flooring that we've introduced right through the house. So from the front door right through the lounge here, into the third bedroom and out into the dining room. Same thing here with the window. There was a window here, same width. I've gone and found a double hung sash window, which is more appropriate for this style of house, lets in a little bit more light. There used to be a really quite ugly sort of patch in the centre of the ceiling where the roof had been leaking. We've sorted that out, removed a couple of boards, reinstated some of the battens, patched that up. I've left this as sort of a reminder of what used to be here. So rather than try and patch the ceiling, just accepting the fact that it used to be framed out, that's how big this whole chimney and mantelpiece arrangement used to be, and there's the remnant of it there. Light and bright, warm and comfortable is what we were looking for here. So let's have a look at the third bedroom, or to be honest, it kind of could be any space. So we've treated this a little bit differently. But one of the things that I like about this room and what we've done in here has been to try and make it feel like just one room. The reason I say that is that this used to be part of this room, up to the change in the ceiling height, used to be the original house, and then the addition in the 1990s was added with this raking ceiling there. And the way it was originally is that it had the lintel, 300 by 100 lintel, was underneath that raking ceiling, and then the understud was pinned to the wall over there. So it really did feel like one room but divided in half. So by taking the lintel out, moving it up and then wrapping the tongue and groove around, I think we've tried to bring this space together. Removing the understud, putting that into the wall and relining has just transformed that space. We've brought the tongue and groove flooring right through here, so it's linking to the lounge and to the dining room and the kitchen beyond and the hallway there, and then from here you can go out through the French doors as well. So here at the back of the house, and this is, remember, part of that sort of 1990s extension that was done. Apparently, back in the day when the house was built, this was the end of the house and there was a little scullery, a little lean-to here, which some owners back in the 1980s, 1990s removed and added this lean-to on. And I've kept it. I haven't changed anything in terms of the structure of this, bar making some changes to the joinery, obviously, and changing the way that it looks and feels on the inside. And then we're here in the kitchen. There's a lot in a kitchen, and we've had to work really hard to try and introduce, I guess, enough storage to make it a practical one, to get that classic sort of triangle that you want, so from fridge to cooktop to washing up. And one of the real challenges for this house, given that it is only 95 square meters, is where do I put the laundry? So we've managed to introduce that into the kitchen as well. So if you follow me around, what we're doing is we've put the laundry into the cupboard here, with a couple of smart features around ventilation and ensuring that that stays dry. That obviously laundries create a fair amount of moisture, so I've resolved that. We've got the fridge in here with some overhead cabinets. Come up with, personally, I think a nifty little idea for the pantry. So a sliding door gives me access to everyday items here, and it gives me some deeper storage around the back there. I've got to say, I'm quite pleased with it. So the other thing that I really like doing in kitchens is to put the microwave at a position where it's easy to see and it's easy to get things out of. So it's into this unit here, we've got more storage down here, we've got the rubbish bins here, we've got overheads. Extraction is really important, so tucked in behind here is my Fisher & Paykel power pack, which ducts straight out through there. We've gone for gas hobs, we've got the underbench oven, a little bit more storage. To get this in, I actually have made this window smaller. Originally they extended much further through, but I really need the storage. Wraparound engineered stone bench from the guys at AGB Stone. New sinks, sliding window in here, which, controversial I know, a little bit of black aluminium joinery in a cottage, but I think it works really well. And it's a nice, simple, practical solution. Bench top wraps around, we've got the Fisher & Paykel dish drawer down there, we've got a decent amount of storage and a little cupboard on the other side. So it's a compact kitchen, it's into a relatively small house, but I think it does everything it needs to do. And I'm sort of a practical person when it comes to kitchens, but I think we've managed with this one to make it both practical and really, really attractive as well. So I mentioned earlier that in the kitchen we've added the laundry, but along with the laundry goes the ironing board, possibly somewhere to put the vacuum cleaner, and all of those things need to find a home as well. So tucked in here, done this sort of semi-concealed door, and it gives me a bit of storage space. And this is a little piece of space that I kind of stole from this room in here. So by moving that wall back to here, I've created some useful storage. It actually makes that room feel better in terms of its layout, and I lose nothing on the inside, but I gain everything. Storage is key in an old house. I gain everything by adding this door. And this little space in front of us, which has access into the garden, is the dining area. Enough space for a table, you know, we've still got that connection with the floor running right through. In this space here, the Remu tongue and groove ceiling is still here, but we've painted it, and so by changing the colour, it's changed the whole feel of this space. And I was here the other morning fairly early, morning sun coming up, coming through these side windows, flooding the back of the kitchen and the dining room. It was really great. So at the back of the house, because it's a 1990s extension and we had sort of a mishmash of joinery, there was some timber casements, there was a set of bifolds here, they didn't match the French doors over there, and in fact the head heights were all slightly different. So we've made these openings slightly smaller because there's plenty of light, and then we've gone for the Altus joinery in matte black with some double glazing, which has been fantastic as well from the guys at Metro Performance Glass. And hey, look at that. So the addition of the bifolds allows me to come from inside to outside. So here in the backyard of the house, there's been a little bit of work done here as well. And as I stand back looking at the house, I can see my new colour steel tidal drift matte roof. I've got new spouting. I can see the power flue, which is part of the Escea fireplace inside there. And then outside, we've repainted the house. I can see the new Altus joinery in here. And then right round the perimeter, we've wrapped all of the existing fences in basically offcuts, leftover pieces of corrugated iron, but then brought it all together by painting everything Resene Nero. I've got some ficus tuffy in there that'll get up to a reasonable height at the back. The slab behind me is actually the foundation for a 10 square metre sleep out, or it could be an office as well. So that's a project for maybe a couple of months' time. I've added the planter box there, vegetables, herbs. It's a nice view from the kitchen into there. We've done this sort of concrete with the shuttering visible on the front face of that, concrete retaining wall wrapping all the way around with the steps to transition to the new lawn. Put in a few citrus, a little bit of buxus through here, Firth concrete right through here, coloured, and that gives me a really good, permanent, durable solution outside here as well. So that's wrapping up the backyard. Let me show you the front. And there's been quite a change out the front as well. I've used the same detail for the little retaining wall at the back of the house here at the front of the house, so linking those two elements together by using the same material and the same style. But it was also a really practical solution to give me some space for planting and also to begin the transition from the pavement to the concrete stairs to the timber stairs that I had to replace. So here at the front of the house, we had to replace all of the decking and all of the joists. I've put in a new set of stairs. We've managed to save the original post just by replacing the rotten sort of foot at the bottom as well. And then with the handrail detail, I've swapped from the balusters that were here originally to this cross pattern, which is more common of houses of this era. And I really like it. I like its simplicity. So as we come to the end of this, my Huis Project, it's fair to say that a project like this, and if you've ever worked on old houses, you'll know they take a lot of enthusiasm, they take a fair amount of money as well, and they take, in my case, a lot of time and energy to create what we've created here. But I do feel pretty proud of what we've achieved with the house at the end of this project. From the road front, we've restored those heritage elements and it takes its place in a street full of character homes. And then inside the house, we've brought it from the 19th century into the 21st century. It is now warm, dry and comfortable. And in a nutshell, that's what I've wanted to achieve with this Huis Project. So often, my feeling is that many of our houses work against us. We're constantly fighting with them to try and get them to keep us warm, to keep us dry, to be a comfortable place to live in. But with the changes that we've made to this house, I believe we've achieved that. As we've gone through this Huis Project, there is a lot of detail in it. So if you would like to know more about the products that I've used, the services that I've used, and some of the processes in getting to the end of this Huis Project, then check out my website, which is www.residentbuilder.co.nz.